So the Piff Cup is finally all wrapped up. I would say it was a success. It was probably one of the biggest grief tournaments in the history of grief. We had 40 total teams come out. I live streamed it all on Friday. So for the UK bracket, we had Team Neon, Griefberger, UK Champs, Dizzy, Danish Dynamite, UK Beast, GITM, Team Superior, AMBG, Team 115, and Asylum. That's 11 teams coming out of the UK bracket, and the winners of the UK bracket was Team 115, which consisted of Who's Who, PhD Flopper PhD, and I'm So Messy. Now, for the US brackets, we had IR Logistics, Redeemed, Relentless, You Will Lose Your Shotguns, Fury, Neighborhood Watch, Burger King, American Pie, Men Region, XJMX Solar, Can't Grief Me, Cobra Dogs, Team AKZ, Pokemon Fluffy, Got Grief, Swift, Mile High Zombies, Political Mexicans, Team Grief Ladder, Skull Crushers, Joe Pro 10, G Squad, Noobs Rock, USGA, Rock Boys, Divine, Mad 2.0, Team Ass Kickers, and Destroyers. That's 29 teams, guys. And the winners out of the US bracket was Team Grief Ladder with the captain of Laiku, One Griefman Army, and LT Doom T1. So that's 29 teams coming out of the US. That's 40 teams total. Like I said, I live streamed all of this on Friday. That's 40 teams. It took 13 straight plus hours to live stream all of this. It took a lot out of me, as you guys could probably tell from the lack of uploads. It took me at least 2 to 3 days to recover from all this, but I couldn't have done it without you guys. I had a lot of supporters, for people that were supporting the grief tournament, that were watching in the live stream, people that were partaking in it. A lot of people that just, basically what I did is I live streamed all of the UK, and 11 teams. It took about 3 to 4 hours, almost 5 maybe. So when I got to the US bracket and there was 29 teams, there's no way I would have been able to live stream everyone. So a lot of people stepped up and helped me like ref games and do a lot of stuff. So I want to give a special shout out to Osto, Mr. Savage Shed, Mad Hatters, X Wanted X, Joe D, Laiku from Grief Ladder helped ref some games, and Cool Gamers. If I'm forgetting anybody, I apologize, but there was a lot of people that, offered to help ref games and all this stuff to help me out. And I appreciate it. They were getting downs on their, they were basically what they were doing is they were going into the game and getting down. So they were getting downs on their main account, probably ruining their chance to get shotguns or whatever rank. But they didn't care. They just wanted to see who the winner of the grief tournament was. So I just want to give a special shout out to them, and I appreciate all that. You guys helped me out a lot. I wouldn't have been able to finish this all in one day if it wasn't for you guys. So I greatly appreciate that. And yeah, so let's get right now into the championship. It was for the UK team, Team 115, versus for the US, it was Team Grief Ladder. Now, both teams had to get some subs. They didn't have all their original players on. It was hard because I was trying to do this like by the middle of the week, so it's really hard to get UK and US, matched up together due to the time difference, and it's during the week and people have school and all that stuff. But for the Team 115 that actually won the tournament, we had Who's Who was the captain. We have PhD Flopper PhD and I'm So Messy. For the US Team Grief Ladder, we had Laiku was the captain. Then we had one Grief Man Army, and then LT Doom T1. Now let's get into the championship. Some different lineups. They had to get some players to sub, but they were still really good players, and it was a really good game. And let's get to that right now. So for the championship game with the US versus the UK, we got for the UK team, we got Team 115, we got Who's Who, James Bell, I Love Beaches. So that's Team 115. For Grief Ladder, we have Laiku, Reflex, and Grief One Man Army. Now, like I said, these are some substitutes, but these are very good players. So this was for the UK versus the US. Also, guys, I would like to apologize about the audio. I know it's going to be a little loud. I actually broke my Turtle Beaches during that tournament, and now the mic will only go down so far. So like it's basically in my mouth. But luckily, I have a Blue Yeti that I'm just having trouble like working with Audacity and stuff like that. So if anybody is good with that, let me know. But let's get to it right here. We're picking up right in the heat of things. It's round 20, and so Who's Who is going to get his perks again. And yeah, it was just really interesting. It was a lot of fun to watch these guys, man. These guys are really, really good. These are guys that play Grief on a regular basis. They have like strategies and stuff like that. I know I have a lot of subs that came out that were more lax, and I'm sure they had a lot of fun, but unless they were playing one of these teams. But so right here, Team Grief Ladder, their whole game plan for this whole game was that the box got into the warden's office, and they were going to control that. And as you can see, they're not letting them come in to come hit the box. And basically what they're going to do is they're just going to try to make them run out of ammo. And they had a bunch of different strategies. I've seen them do a bunch. This was the first time they actually did this. I think they might have switched it up, hoping that the other team wouldn't know what they were going to do. But as you can see, all they did is they had one person at each window basically in the back, and then they had one person up front that was watching. Basically, his whole job was to watch the front and then watch and see when they're coming, and then they're going to go into their strategy. And basically, what the other team was doing, Team 115, what a lot of people have done, is they were basically just holding off the cafeteria. So they had, two people, and then they also had people down over at the sides and stuff like that, where they could all. And I think right here, someone might have been able to sneak in. Yes, this was the first time they were actually able to get in and get the box. But then once they got in, Grief Ladder did a strategy where they hold off that back end. And basically, what they're doing is they're just looking at one window, and they're gonna make this guy have to kill all the zombies that are gonna come from that window, the other window in the front. This was a strategy that they actually used to win the championship for the U.S. That was actually another really good game against Destroyer, and they basically got against the wall there against Speed Cola, and they were all six of them, like around 20, were running circles in the Speed Cola room. It was actually pretty crazy to watch. Team 1-5 actually, they were able to win their championship game. They won it in like under a minute. It was probably one of the quickest Grief games ever. They were playing against the UK champs, and I don't know, the UK champs, they got caught slipping. They someone went down, like it was like an easy down, and then someone went to revive them, and then someone on Team 115 jumped on top of them and basically got their whole team down. It was pretty crazy. It was a really quick win. But as you guys can see right here, they're fighting, they're jockeying for position right here. They're not going to let them get in there and hit the box. By the way, this is actually game 2. We did a best of 3 series, and Grief Ladder won the first game very quickly. Someone from Team 115 went down, and in those early rounds, you're starting at round 10, and if you go down, your team doesn't have your guns yet, you're not set up. It was a very, very quick game. Grief Ladder won the game very quick, but this was game 2, and this was actually a very, very good game. This is probably one of the best games that we had all around. It was probably at least in the top 3. But so yeah, they're basically, Grief Ladder is just hoping that basically, they're gonna run out of ammo out here. They're not gonna be able to hit the box right here. 2 people went down. Someone, I want to say it was Reflex from Team Grief Ladder, made a great play of turning on the trap so that they're not gonna be able to get in. He's not gonna be able to go revive his 2 teammates. Right here is I Love Beaches. He gets a crucial nuke, which he would have been able to revive his teammates, but the trap is on. Someone from Grief Ladder smartly hit that trap. Now watch what happens right here. The trap is done, and now they're shooting and punching them. They're blocking them. And who is that? I don't know who that was. I think that might have been Laiku. That was crucial. Just a matter of 2 seconds that they were able to block him from going to get the revive. Like I said, these guys are very, very good. These guys do Grief tournaments every weekend. They do them. I'm going to put a link in the description. If you guys want to get serious into Grief, these are the guys that you're going to want to play with. They do it once a week on Saturdays, I believe. It's at gtbrackets3.simplesite.com. I'm going to put a link in the description. If you guys want to get into Grief, if you're a Grief team, these guys are very chill, but they're also very good, and you will learn a lot from playing in their tournament. I think they also do some ones on they play there once a week on Saturdays, and then they also do some stuff where they might play for money and stuff like that. Also, Reflex from Team Grief Ladder, he has a YouTube channel, Apocalypse2695. I'll put a link in the description to his YouTube channel. He might have some Grief videos up there that you guys should check out. And so right here, I Love Beaches from Team 115 is the only one left. As you guys saw, Grief Ladder put a great move to try to keep them from reviving his players. And right now, he's just trying to sit out in the corner. I think they were banking on, they knew the round was probably almost over. He just had to survive this round and get his teammates back in the game, and they would have a chance in this game. And right here, Team Grief Ladder is going to make a nice play of shooting and knifing him and causing him to get down in that corner. And basically it's over after that. We're doing bleed out rules, which means that they just had to wait like 45 seconds after. And so that's the game, guys. Team Grief Ladder won for the U.S., but they have someone that's from the U.K. that's on their team, Grief, one-man army. He's the one I think that does the brackets and all that. So there's no real bragging rights for the U.S. It was just a great tournament, so we'll just say Team Grief Ladder won. For right there, I'm going through everybody's gamer tags. For Team 115, we got Who's Who, we got James Bell, I Love Beaches, and for Grief Ladder, we got Laiku, Reflex, and Grief One Man Army. Let's also give shout-outs to the guys that were originally on their team. For Who's Who, PhD Flapper PhD, I'm So Messy. For Laiku, LT Doom, T1, One Grief Man Army. Shout out to all those guys. It was a great tournament. Like I said, these guys are really good. It was just an honor to have them in it, to bring... to make it legit, to have some really, really good Grief players. These guys are probably some of the best Grief players in the world. So it was just awesome to have them come out. I want to say thank you to them. And shout out to Team 115 who won for the UK. Shout out to Grief Ladder that won for the US. And then shout out to Grief Ladder that won the whole thing. So there you guys go. That was the second annual Piff Cup. Like I said, it was a success. 40 teams, probably one of the biggest Grief tournaments. It was just a lot of fun. Hopefully I could do it again. You guys support this video and just support, their Grief tournament that they have. If you guys are interested in that, the YouTube channel, all that stuff. So let's give it up for those guys in the tournament for T115 and Grief Ladder. And yeah, just congratulations to Grief Ladder for winning it all. And hopefully I'll be doing another one of these soon once I get some rest and I'm all rested up. Maybe after the NHL playoffs I'll do another one. So I'll talk to you guys then. Peace.